Hello, hello there, you guys. Welcome to another of my live videos. I'm currently going to be doing now my Arsenal versus Manchester United preview. Sunday, 4:30 kickoff. As always, going into the game. So Manchester United going into this game full of confidence. As I currently said, after a miraculous comeback against Paris Saint-Germain on Wednesday night, and now obviously with Manchester United officially now made history in the Champions League, of course, as well. One of our greatest matches in Champions League history, and one of the greatest comebacks of all time. Of course, one of the greatest Champions League comebacks of all time, of course, as well. We had 10 first team players out in the game as well, and that it was absolutely fantastic indeed. And we are in a good run of form, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. And that's probably when Solskjaer was a player, one of his most iconic, moments was obviously, in the Champions League. Now as a manager, one of his most iconic moments. Um, Now as manager for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I sort of just woke up. Now as a manager for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, one of his most iconic moments is the club's history as well, which is absolutely fantastic indeed. So we had 10 first team players out in the game, of course. I think Eric Bailly has suffered like some kind of injury, so I don't think he'll be involved against Arsenal on Sunday, because he was actually playing in an unnatural position. He was actually playing at fullback, so Bailly actually came off in the game against PSG. But overall, what an absolutely fantastic result, it was for Manchester United. We do keep our 100% winning record away from home up, 9 away wins now. 9 away wins now. We've won 14 out of 17 in all competitions as well, which is very, very good. I think we have won 10 in the league. So against Arsenal, we are looking to win our 11th league match, and we are looking to win our 10th away win. Looking to get our 10th away win as well in the current process. So yeah, it was a very, very good result. Lukaku scoring 2 of the goals against PSG. So that's now 6 goals in 3 games for Romelu Lukaku. So Lukaku is in absolutely fantastic form indeed. And we saw, Rashford at the end score from the penalty spot against Paris Saint-Germain. Obviously, Arsenal themselves, suffering defeat yesterday in the Europa League to Rennes. I think it was 3-1. Didn't watch the game, but I think in that game, Socrates had got currently sent off in that game as well. Of course, for Arsenal going into this game, of course, Lucas Torreira, of course, is suspended because he got sent off against Tottenham last week as well. But I think the Emirates this season has actually, been a fortress, to be quite honest, because Arsenal have done really, really well at the Emirates this season. They have only lost one match at the Emirates in the Premier League this season, and that was to Man City at the beginning of the season as well. So Arsenal at the Emirates are doing pretty well this season, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But obviously this game is obviously, obviously this game is this Arsenal Manchester United game. Obviously, they're going for top four of both teams. Arsenal going for top four. Manchester United, of course, are going for the top four as well. So it is a battle for top four. But Arsenal, recently in the Premier League, have actually, been playing quite well. To be quite fair, they have been playing really, really well. There was unlucky last week, actually not to beat Tottenham. Saw Lucas Torreira getting sent off in the game as well. Arsenal missed a penalty through Patrick Emerick Aubameyang as well last week. Tottenham did get a penalty last week. There was talks that Kane was offside when he received the ball, but I think Mustafi had basically cost Arsenal the points in that game. Against Tottenham last week as well. But Arsenal, obviously, this season themselves, they have the only chance of any silverware this season is obviously, the Europa League, of course, as well. And they did lose by 3 goals to 1 yesterday by Rennes. As it did say, I didn't watch the game, but they did lose 3-1, did Arsenal as well. But yeah, as I said, the only chance of any silverware this season for Arsenal is the Europa League, of course. Obviously, they want to get top four as well, so they can invest more money into the club. And obviously, they want to have a more competitive summer transfer window as well. Do Arsenal, and obviously there's still no investment is definitely needed into their squad in the summer. My club Manchester United, we still know that we need investment in the summer as well. But as I did say, it's not the biggest fixture, as it used to be, Arsenal, Manchester United, because back in the day, this was always a title deciding, Arsenal and Manchester United, when we had Ferguson for 27 years, when they had Arsene Wenger for 22, yeah, the two longing-serving managers, of course, in world football, as I said. But now, of course, it's obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer versus Unai Emery. Obviously, we beat Arsenal we've won our last two visits to the Emirates Stadium. We beat them in the FA Cup earlier on in the season, very, very comfortably, by 3 goals to 1. In that game, Sanchez scoring against his former club, Lukaku getting 2 assists in that game as well. Lukaku getting 2 assists in that game as well. Also Lingard scoring in that game, Martial scoring in that game, and it was a comfortable win, for Manchester United in that game as well. Of course, beat them at the Emirates last season as well by 3 goals to 1 in the league. I think in that game, that Arsenal must have had about 30 odd shots in that game as well. Beat them at Old Trafford last season 2-1 for Fellaini scoring late on. I think it was 2-2 early on in the season between Manchester United and Arsenal, of course, as well. And yeah, it was 2-2 earlier on in the season. So basically our reserves beat PSG, midweek, as I currently said. So I was very, very surprised indeed, I was very, very surprised indeed, to be quite honest with you, because, we had 10 first team players out. But Solskjaer did say, he was very, very confident, going into the game, considering the string of injuries Manchester United and he said he was still very, very confident. He does believe Manchester United can go all the way and actually win the Champions League. This is what, Solskjaer currently said. He said it's what Manchester United do. Because obviously, when Solskjaer was a player, he was part of a lot of great comebacks as well. So he knows his club has got a fantastic, pedigree of of coming back, from deficits and all that. And we did that fantastically well. And we had 10 players out as well. And, PSG seldom lose at Paris Saint-Germain because they've got a really, really good win home record. That was our first win in the Champions League knockout stages away from home in the knockout stage Champions League match, since 2011 against Schalke as well. So it was a great, great win. So this is going to give us confidence, obviously, going into the Arsenal game as well. But Arsenal have been in a good run of form of late. Obviously, they suffered a 3-1 defeat, to Rennes yesterday in the Europa League. That's the only chance Arsenal have got of winning any silverware, of course. And obviously, they want to obviously get Champions League football for next season. Do Arsenal obviously hopefully somewhere along that line from Arsenal's perspective, they can actually, turn it around, in the second leg against Rennes and come back from a 2-goal deficit as well. But Socrates, of course, will be missing it because he's suspended as well. But they've been recently Arsenal have been in a good run of form, as I said. But cast back a couple of years ago, our kids beat Arsenal as well, because it was 3-2 Manchester United a couple of years back. I think it was a game where actually Marcus Rashford scored on his debut. Yeah, it was. It was a game he scored twice on his Premier League debut. Did Marcus Rashford, and our kids beat Arsenal a couple of years ago. It was 3-2 to Manchester United. This was at Old Trafford as well, and we had a number of players out in that game as well. But our kids did beat Arsenal a couple of years ago as well. So, overall, we have got a really, really good record against Arsenal. Of course, they haven't beaten us at Old Trafford in the Premier League, since 2006. So they haven't beat us at Old Trafford in the Premier League for 13 years of Arsenal as well. But yeah, it's the fight for top four, of course, as I said, because there's quite a few teams going for it. You've got Chelsea going for it. You've got us going for it. You've got Arsenal going for it as well. So there's quite a few teams, going for that top four. As I said, at the moment we are sitting 1 point in front of Arsenal, of course, at the moment. But we have now, we have won 9 away from home in all competitions, so we have got 100% winning away record, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in as well. But I think, from Arsenal's point of view, they can't moan, with the current season they've had, because, of course, it's only Unai Emery's first season as Arsenal manager, of course. But, yeah, overall, he has won trophies, in the past of what teams he's managed. He won trophies when he was managing PSG. I think he won a couple of trophies, when he was managing Sevilla as well. So it is only his first season, Unai Emery. So, in a way, it's a transition season for Arsenal. Of course, they were disappointed that they couldn't get maybe another player added into their ranks, back in the January transfer window. Of course, they were only restricted to loan signings, back in the January transfer window, of course. Arsenal had the money, it's just that the current owner, Kroenke, wasn't investing into the club, obviously, he was taking money out of the club and all that. So basically, a lot of obviously, Arsenal obviously want Kroenke out as well. But yeah, Arsenal have got a good team, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, investment is definitely needed into their team, if they're going to start challenging for the title or challenging for trophies. They do need investment, do Arsenal as well. I think they are going to get a spending spree in the summer, to be quite honest with you. But I think, obviously one of their signings in January was obviously Denis Suarez. I haven't actually been watching him playing in action. Arsenal paid an initial £2 million to get him on loan. These are not on loan. I think they do have the option to buy him in the summer for around £20 million, is it? Or something like that. Very, very good, versatile player. I think Umra mainly sees him as a winger though, but he can play, I think, centrally as well, can Denis Suarez. But Arsenal, that's the only signing they got in January. Well, they got him initially on loan, but I think probably Arsenal probably maybe will make the deal permanent in the summer. Obviously, as well, Mesut Ozil, as well, there were a lot of talks about him, going in the January transfer window, but I think he's very, very happy at Arsenal, to be quite honest. I think he wants to remain loyal at Arsenal, does Mesut Ozil, of course, even though there was strong speculation of him leaving in January, and Umremre said himself he wanted him to leave the club, he wanted to sanction him off, to raise some funds and all that. This is what Umremre said in relation, about selling Mesut Ozil, but now I think, Ozil's got himself back into the team, playing more regularly now, because obviously for the majority of the season, since Umremre got recommended into Arsenal, Ozil's found game time very, very difficult. He's had a couple of injuries as well. Of course, he's Arsenal's highest paid player on £350,000 a week, of course, as well as Mesut Ozil. So he is a very, very good player. He's Mesut Ozil, and Arsenal still know how much of a central player he is. He is age 30 now, of course, as well. And throughout his playing career, he's been a very, very good player, and he's well Premier League proven now. This is his sixth season with Arsenal. He has won quite a few FA Cups, with Arsenal. He won trophies at Real Madrid, and I think when he was playing under Jose Mourinho at one point as well, Mesut Ozil. But yeah, I think, Arsenal do want to keep him now, as I said, because there was strong speculation of him leaving in January, but I think now he's becoming more of a regular in the team, is Mesut Ozil, of course. Arsenal, of course, know that, of course, Aaron Ramsey is going to be definitely leaving them in the summer. This is what Arsenal do know, but when he's playing, he's still giving it nearly 100% each game, and I think he's been a very, very good servant to Arsenal, as Aaron Ramsey, to be quite honest with you. He's been at Arsenal. This is what his 11th season now, as an Arsenal player. Aaron Ramsey's, and he's a very, very good player indeed. Obviously, he's agreed a 4-year deal to join Juventus in the summer, when his contract expires. Aaron Ramsey's agreed to sign a new 4-year deal with Juventus, when his current Arsenal contract term expires. So he's going to be officially joining Juventus when his contract term ends with Arsenal as well. He is going to be set to become the highest British player as well. All in all, probably like the 8th best played player or something like that. And I think he's going to be the second highest played player behind Cristiano Ronaldo as well in the Juventus team. But yeah, I think he'll fit into the Juventus team, really, really well, with Aaron Ramsey. But Arsenal, I think, have given him a good standing ovation. He's been a very, very good servant, to their club. He has been there since 2008, so he has had a good 11 years, with Arsenal. I think in all competitions he's made over 300 odd appearances. He's scored 60 odd goals as well in all competitions as Aaron Ramsey, and he's a really, really good box-to-box midfielder. I think you can deploy him on the left. You can play him on the right as well. So he is versatile, as Aaron Ramsey, but he's a really, really good box-to-box midfielder. But he is 28 years of age now, of course, as well. But he's been at Arsenal a lot of years. So I think Arsenal have given him a good standing ovation, for what he's done for their club. Of course, Arsenal paid an initial £5 million for him from Cardiff, of course, as well, where he reached up the ranks for like 8 years, was it, in their youth academy, or something like that. But Arsenal do know he's currently going. Of course, as well, I think Arsenal have got some good players in their team. They've got a Aubameyang, that's a really, really good player. He leads the lines. He scores goals and all that as well. And he proved that when he was at Borussia Dortmund, Aubameyang, and he's done it this season, for Arsenal, fantastic as well. Most recently, he hasn't actually been playing Aubameyang and Lacazette, as a, together, because they really, really look good together as a partnership, do Aubameyang and Lacazette, as I said, they do really, really look good together as a partnership. But yeah, as I did currently say, it's a really, really good fixture. Is Arsenal, Manchester United, but of course Arsenal themselves have had a lot of injury problems this season. They've had injuries to Mesut Ozil earlier on this season. They've had injuries to the likes of Koscielny. They've had injuries to Socrates. They've obviously now got long-term absences to Rob Holding. He's still out with injury. Obviously, Hector Bellerin, of course, is still out as well, and also to Danny Welbeck. I think Stephen Lichtstein has got some kind of injury as well, and they've picked up other injuries as well of Arsenal. They've picked up other injuries. Alex Iwobi's been injured this season as well. I think Ramsey's suffered an injury this season, as well. So Arsenal have had a lot of injury problems, as I currently said. But they do know that obviously Lucas Torreira is going to be missing this game because obviously he got sent off against Tottenham last week. I think it was for a high challenge on Danny Rose or something like that. My club, Manchester United, our team news, going into this game against Arsenal. As I said, our team news going into this game. It's likely that Martial will be. I think Martial is going to be in contention, to play against Arsenal, or at least he should be involved. Anthony Martial, because obviously it did say he was unlikely to risk him against PSG. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't risk him against PSG, so I think he's likely to play against Arsenal on Sunday's Martial. I don't know if he'll start, but he could be in somewhere online. Martial could be involved because Martial has obviously, just had a groin injury. Of course, we know that he's been a really, really good player, when he has been fully fit because he provides that width very, very well. He shows that ability to attack, score goals, and all that does Anthony Martial. So I think he's set to return. Obviously, we know Eric Bailly, of course, is out with a knock injury. I think Bailly suffered some kind of knock as Eric Bailly. And it was good, to see in the Paris Saint-Germain game as well. It was good to see, Chong get involved against PSG. Good to see him make his first team appearance, make his third appearance in the first team. Chong. It was good to see also, against PSG, Mason Greenwood, make his debut for Manchester United as well. And hopefully somewhere along the line, like the likes of Greenwood and Chong and all that can get more opportunities under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the first team as well. I do like what he's done because he's got belief now in the young players as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which I really like. He's got a good inspiration, he's a good tactician, and I think, he definitely knows what he's doing, does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But we've obviously got Bay out as well, and Bay's been in and out of the team this season. Even I still like him, I rate him, he's got great potential and all that. But Eric Bay, right back is his unnatural position. He's obviously a central defender, is Eric Bay, but it says he's out anywhere. Of course, we've got other injuries as well, in relation to Nemanja Matic, as I've been giving you an update on him. He has got a muscle injury as Nemanja Matic. There is a slight, it's very unlikely, but there is a slight outside chance he could be involved against Arsenal, Nemanja Matic, because we know how good he's been, when he has been fully fit, and we know how good he's been, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we know we do have strong reservations about him. He's very, very slow, he's Nemanja Matic. We know he's very, very slow, and he's aging up and all that, but I think he's fitted in that midfield trio very, very well under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's been playing regular. I think he's looked more effective in his passing. His distributions has also improved as well as Nemanja Matic. So I have really, really been impressed with his performances, when he's been fully fit, when since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in. But I think he's still out with a muscle injury as well. We know Herrera, of course, is still out with a hamstring injury as well. We don't know when he's going to be back from injury. Under Herrera again, hopefully somewhere along the line, we can come to an agreement of getting him a new contract because he does deserve it, based on his fantastic performances, because he's been fitting that midfield very, very well. He's obviously been playing more regular and all that, and he's fitted into the team very, very well. As Ander Herrera's distribution's improved, he's looked more effective in his passing as Ander Herrera, as I said. So he's really, really improved, since Solskjaer's coming. I think he's always been a consistent player because this is his fifth season now at Manchester United, of course. So hopefully somewhere along the line, we can come to an agreement of getting him a new contract. And I think there's areas of his game is adapted fantastically well, galloping forward more, good ball playing midfielder, breaks up the play very, very well. So we know that Ander Herrera is a big, big miss in that midfield, of course, as well. So he's got a hamstring injury. I don't know when he's set to come back. Again, we know that, of course, Juan Mata, of course, is still out for injury. It did confirm he's going to miss the Arsenal game on Sunday as well. Juan Mata, of course, has got a hamstring injury, as we all currently know. Of course, we know mainly anyway under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We know mainly Juan Mata hasn't been first choice, as we all know anyway, because we know obviously when Lingard's being fully fit, obviously Lingard's being first choice over Juan Mata, of course, on that right hand side. Even though Juan Mata can play in the middle, Lingard can play in the middle. We know mainly Lingard has been playing on the right hand side, of course, when he has been fully fit, and obviously. But as I did say, Juan Mata, of course, is injured. He's got a hamstring injury as well. I don't know when he's going to come back from injury, but we still know he's a very, very consistent player. Even though mainly since Solskjaer's coming, he hasn't been first choice and all that. But he's aging up now. He has lost that yard of pace, but we still know that he's a very, very consistent player. We've had him here since 2014. Mata, this is his fifth season now at Manchester United. Of course, I think he's made over 200 odd appearances in all competitions. Of course, he's won everything in the Premier League, apart from the Premier League, of course, as well. Because obviously this was including his 3 years he had with Chelsea. This is now his fifth season now with Manchester United, of course, as well as Juan Mata. So he's obviously, got a hamstring injury. So I don't know when he's going to come back from injury. As I said, Juan Mata. The good news is Paul Pogba is going to be in contention to play against Arsenal, because obviously he didn't play against PSG in the Champions League because he obviously had a suspension. Did Paul Pogba. So yeah, and Paul Pogba, I think, to be quite honest, I think Paul Pogba looks more effective in the number 10 role. To be quite honest with you, I think he looks much better in the number 10 role. Because he provides good service to the front men. He plays them delicate passes through. His breaks box to box. Very, very good as well. Paul Pogba's, and he's very, very effective. Is Paul Pogba? When he's in that midfield, as I said, he provides good service to the front man. He scores goals himself. He provides as well. Does Paul Pogba, of course, as well. So yeah. He's going to be definitely playing against Arsenal as well. We know we still got other injury problems as well. As I did say, Lingard, of course, is still out. He's a big, big miss as well because he's still young in his generation. He's been providing that width very, very well on that right-hand side, when he has been fully fit, Jesse Lingard. So we still know, basically, he's a big miss as well, because I think Martial on the left, Jesse Lingard on the right, they're both players out on them wide positions, create the width very, very well. They've got a lot of pace as well of both players. So we still know they are currently a big miss as well. And so we've still got a lot of injuries, as I currently said, but it is basically essential that we do win this game, because obviously we do want to get that top four this season, of course, as well. We want to get that top four this season. But, for me, Solskjaer's done an absolutely terrific job, since he's coming as Manchester United manager. He's done an absolutely terrific job. Reports are coming out saying that Solskjaer is set to be named Manchester United manager permanently, reportedly. So reports saying Solskjaer is set to be named Manchester United manager on a full-time basis. Reports are saying that his annual salary is going to be around 7.5 million, as reports are saying. It's not been officially as confirmed as yet, but he did say in the media it's set to be confirmed that Solskjaer is going to be Manchester United's manager permanently. Annual salary around 7.5 million. Obviously, we've still got to sort the length of his contract out and all that. But reports, according to the Mirror, say that it's likely his contract will include hefty bonus clauses or something like that as well. He did say his contract will include hefty bonus clauses as well, but this is reportedly he's going to get an annual salary of around 7.5 million or something like that. So Solskjaer's willing to accept a less wage, a lesser pay package than obviously than what Jose Mourinho was currently on, because Jose Mourinho, when he was Manchester United manager, he was on 15 million a year was Jose Mourinho. So obviously Solskjaer is going to be receiving half of the wages, that basically half of the wages, than what Jose Mourinho was currently on as well. But you can look at it positive, because obviously he's going to be getting a massive pay rise. Annually, he's only going to Solskjaer, because he was only on 400,000. He was on about £400,000 a year, when he was Mould manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. But he's set to be named Manchester United manager on a full-time basis, of course. Based on his fantastic progression, he's done since he's come into the club, and there's been a massive turnaround, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in. He's brought the belief back to the team, the fear factors back into the club as well, which is very, very good indeed. He's progressed us to the FA Cup quarter-final. Don't forget, he's progressed us to the FA Cup quarter-final. Now he's got us to the last 8 of the Champions League, and now we're in the top 4 as well. And when Solskjaer came in, Manchester United, of course, were 11 points behind top 4 as well. We've won all our away games away from home as well. We've won 14 out of 17 in all competitions. We haven't lost in the Premier League yet. So Solskjaer himself has also made history in the Premier League as well. As the Champions League and all that as well. And so it's looking really, really good indeed. So we've only lost one game since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in 17. As I said, I think Manchester United still obviously have to pay an additional fee to Mould to get Solskjaer permanently, because I think he's still under contract with Mould until 2021. I think we don't have to pay a fee of around £7-8 million to get Solskjaer on a full-time basis, because initially we have paid 1.8 million at the moment, obviously, to get him on a temporary basis, of course. Well, even though Solskjaer did come out in the press the other day, Solskjaer did come out the press the other day, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he did currently say that he thinks that his contract has expired, with Mould. This is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, and from Mould's perspective, Mould did say a couple of weeks ago, before Solskjaer got appointed in as Manchester United manager, they did say that he'd agreed a new 3-year deal with Mould as well, and this is what Mould had said from their current perspective, because obviously we got Solskjaer in, obviously, when Mould's season had currently ended, and their season starts at the end of this month as well. But yeah, it's likely Solskjaer will be named Manchester United manager on a full-time basis. I do think we'd have to pay an additional £7-8 million, something like that. But we've obviously got to come to an agreement on the length of his contract and all that. I think his salary's allegedly been agreed as well. It's going to be around 7.5 million a year, as it does say. So he's going to be earning half the wages than what currently Jose Mourinho was earning, because Jose Mourinho was on like 15 million a year or something like that. But it is going to be a pay rise it is going to be a pay rise now at Manchester United, compared to what he was receiving at Mould, because he was only on around £400,000 a year at Mould, where was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said. So he's set to be named Manchester United manager on a full-time basis. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which is very, very good news. But I think he's a good tactician. He inspires the team. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? His game plan always works out as well, and he knows everything about the club. He knows the club inside out as well. He's a great player for 11 years. Don't forget, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's got 126 goals in all competitions. Won a lot of trophies under Alex Ferguson as well, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So he was a great player, and he grew, developed and flourished under Ferguson for 11 years, of course. In terms of manager at the moment, he hasn't really won much in terms of silverware as manager at the moment, but I definitely, do think that is definitely, to come, guys. As I said, if Manchester United, can get some new additions to come into the club in the summer, because of course we do expect departures in the summer as well. If we can get some new additions, to come into the club in the summer, maybe get about 3 or 4 players, to come in the summer. As I did say, I think we can definitely, be potentially title contenders, for the new season, especially as well. I think Solskjaer's been negotiating with the board, what players should stay, what players, should leave and all that. But it is essential that we do get that Champions League football for next season, so we can have a more competitive summer transfer window. So it's always essential. We've got a great chance. I think, we have got a great chance of winning silver under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, especially this season. We've still got a great chance of winning the FA Cup. Don't rule us out for the Champions League as well, because we've just knocked one of the best teams out in it as well. So you just never know in football, to be quite honest with you. And that would be a fantastic achievement if we can win the FA Cup, got the Champions League. That would be absolutely incredible indeed, guys, as well. That would be absolutely incredible, guys, if that currently happened as well. But yeah, as I did say, reports are saying, that we're going to get around £200 million to spend in the summer. Solskjaer himself is going to have his say on our transfer plans, of course, in the summer as well. So it's likely he's going to be named Manchester United manager on a full-time basis, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, which is very, very good news indeed. He deserves it. His tactics are very, very good. He knows his lineups, his formations are right, and I think he's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy. He's restored Alex Ferguson's spirit levels to the club as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And he's brought the fear factor back to the club. Which is very, very good indeed. He hasn't as yet really proved himself in terms of a manager. He had 2 managerial spells with Mould. He won 2 Norwegian titles with Mould and all that. He didn't do so good with Cardiff, but he only had a short tenure with Cardiff. And he won trophies when he was managing the Manchester United reserve team. He watched some of this team now this day and age, grow and develop, when he was managing, the Manchester United reserve team, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. So he did win a couple of trophies there as well. But I think it's definitely to come, and I do think, we can get back to being an elite, competitive, elite level football club, without a shadow of a doubt. But we still know that investment is needed into the squad in the summer without a shadow of a doubt. So likely in this Arsenal game, he'll probably obviously now that Pogba is back, he'll probably go with a midfield of probably Pogba, McTominay and Andres Pereira, something like that. I'll go with Pogba, Fred and McTominay, or Pogba, Fred and Pereira, something like that. That's who he's likely going to go with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Because obviously now, especially with the injuries we've got in the midfield, he's obviously going to give more opportunities for the likes of Fred and all that. Even though we don't know if is a long-term solution, McTominay is obviously getting more opportunities now, considering the injuries we've got in midfield. And to be quite fair, McTominay has been impressive. Andres Pereira, very very impressive against PSG. He would also very very good against who was it? Against Southampton as well in the league, getting a goal and getting an assist. Andres Pereira, and Solskjaer's been in negotiations, with Andres Pereira, regarding his Manchester United future, of course. Solskjaer wants him to sign a new long-term contract at Manchester United, Andres Pereira, because obviously he's going to get more opportunities now, considering, the string of injuries we've got in midfield. Even though overall, he's had strong reservations about his game time, he's still only young, he's only still age 23, he's Andres Pereira, as we all currently know. So yeah, he is a very, very good player indeed, is Andres Pereira, and I do really, really like Andres Pereira, of course, because he can prove, that he can play very, very well indeed. But Solskjaer's been in negotiations regarding his future Manchester United, but I think he wants to. I think Solskjaer wants to get him a new long-term contract at Manchester United. Andres Pereira, of course. But yeah, I do think he's been playing really, really well indeed. Again, Lukaku, I think definitely will be in contention, probably, to play against Arsenal as well. And he's a danger, for Arsenal, believe it or not. He's Romelu Lukaku, because he's been in really, really good form, especially, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in. Lukaku has been in absolutely fantastic form in his last 3 games, 6 goals in 3 games, for Romelu Lukaku, as I couldn't said. So he's been in absolutely fantastic form. We know he's slow and we do have strong reservations about him, but I think it's since Solskjaer's come in, I think his finishing's improved. He's been scoring more goals as well as Romelu Lukaku. And I think, Lukaku and Rashford, are actually, a fantastic partnership up front, Lukaku and Rashford. But mainly Lukaku hasn't been first choice, but as I did say, he's been playing really, really well recently. So he has hit a good run of form as Romelu Lukaku, as I said. And yeah, it will be likely he will be in contention, to play against Arsenal. But overall, he's got a really, really good pedigree in the Premier League as Romelu Lukaku. He scored loads and loads of goals when he was an Everton player. He scored 27 goals in his first season with Manchester United as well, in all competitions as well. Throughout the course of the season, he has struggled for goals. He's lacked consistency, but since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's took the mantle on at the club, Lukaku's form has really, really improved indeed. But Solskjaer's rejuvenated the whole team, as I currently said. We know there has been speculation, that Lukaku could leave Manchester United in the summer, and if Manchester United do decide to sell Lukaku in the summer, obviously we'll be looking to recruit the initial £75 million we paid for him. Obviously, he's indicated that he does want to make the move to Juventus Lukaku if Manchester United, of course, decide to currently sell him. So there has been rumours going on about that. Again, Rashford, absolutely fantastic. He'll definitely be involved in this game as well. Marcus Rashford, again, hopefully somewhere along the line, can come to an agreement of getting him a new deal at Manchester United, because he does deserve it, based on his fantastic performances. He's set to sign a new 6-year deal with Manchester United. This will take him under contract till 2025, and it'll take him to the age of 27. Marcus Rashford, his current deal still ends in 2020 with an option of a further year as well. But he scored the decisive penalty midweek against Paris Saint-Germain as well, because literally it was a handball by Kim Pepe. Was a long debate, with the VAR, making a decision on it, but it was a fantastic penalty from Marcus Rashford. As I said, and he's still only young, he's growing, developing, and he's flourishing in this team fantastically well. Is Marcus Rashford, and he has been playing a key role under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all know. And I think he looks very, very effective central. I know you can operate him out wide, but I think he looks more effective in a central position. Does Marcus Rashford, and he's been a United player, since the age of 7. Born and bred in Manchester, and he's been in the senior squad with Manchester United, of course, since 2016 as well. So yeah, he's likely he's going to be playing. In relation to Alexis Sanchez, of course, we know that obviously Sanchez has just recently picked up an injury as well, so he's out for 4 to 6 weeks as well with a current injury. Quite honest with you, so he won't be facing his former club. Alexis Sanchez actually scoring against them in the FA Cup as well earlier on in the season. I think Solskjaer himself has lost faith and he's lost trustworthy in Alexis Sanchez. To be quite honest with you, because obviously he's enjoyed a very very difficult time since he's been a Manchester United player. Of course, he's been here just over the year. Of course, he's suffered quite a few injuries. He's lacked goals, and he hasn't really fitted under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system as Alexis Sanchez. So I think it's likely that Manchester United are going to get rid of him in the summer because he's aging up now. He's 30. He's lost that yard of pace, and he's nowhere near the player he was at Arsenal. To be quite honest with you, Alexis Sanchez, and there's been no improvements in his game at all. When he has been given a chance. Sanchez currently out with a knee. He's got a knee ligament damage. So he did say initially he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Is Alexis Sanchez, of course, but I think Martial's close to regaining full fitness, as said. So he mainly anyway, operates on that left hand side as Anthony Martial. So reports do say it could possibly be involved Martial as well. Of course, still got other injuries. We know Darmian. I think he's back in training now. Darmian, of course, he's been injured as well as Mario Darmian. But I think it's more than likely he's likely to leave Manchester United in the summer. Is Mario Darmian, because he's enjoyed a very very difficult time at Manchester United. Of course, he's been here since 2015. Struggled to get in the team and all that. So I do think he's on his way out anywhere. Of course, Valencia's got a calf injury as well. He's been one long in serving players here. Valencia. He's been here since 2009. Of course, he has made over 300 appearances in all competitions as Valencia. He's been here since 2008, and over the years he's gone developed, and he has been an essential player over the years, but he is too old now, is Antonio Valencia. He's definitely, I think he's going to be leaving the club in his summer, because obviously we haven't given him that new 1 year extension on his current contract at the moment. Marcus Rojo's just recently recovered from injury as well, because he's been out injured for a long time again. Enjoyed a difficult time at Manchester United, because he struggled with his fitness regime. He struggled with his fitness regime and all that, so he has struggled to get him on the games under his belt. He's a good backup option, is Marcus Rojo, because he's versatile at the back, but mainly he has struggled at game time as well. So Man United could still consider getting rid of Marcus Rojo in the summer as well. But we know mainly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has most recently, he has been going with Smalling and Victor Lindelof as a centre-back partnership, to be quite honest. As I did initially say, I would have preferred Lindelof and Eric Bailly as a centre-back partnership, to be quite honest, because I did say Bailly's got great potential, as I did say. But, recently, he has mainly, been going with Smalling and Victor Lindelof as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think, to be quite fair, since Smalling has come, since he has come back from his injury, I think Smalling has really, really played well alongside Lindelof in that central defensive area. Smalling again's been one long in serving players here. This is his 9th season now at Manchester United. Of course, he's won everything here as well in English football as Chris Smalling. Obviously got him from Fulham, back in 2010 as well. And to be quite fair, since he's recovered from his injury, his performances have really, really improved. He's showing that he can play out from the back. He's galloping forward, man. I think he's been blended in fantastically well alongside Victor Lindelof. Of course, I think Victor Lindelof's performances have really, really improved this season as well as a Manchester United player, showing that determination. He can play out from the back. He's galloping forward more. His distribution's improved. His pass accuracy has really, really improved as well as Victor Lindelof. He struggled in his first season, but I think this season he's really, really improved as Victor Lindelof. So I have been really, really impressed with his performances. So it's likely again in this Arsenal game we'll go with Lindelof and Smalling as a centre back partnership, of course, as well. But reports did say, Martial, could be involved in this game as well. So if he is, he'll obviously probably, operate on the left-hand side. Of course, if Martial is involved, unless he comes off the bench, I'm not too sure about that, to be quite honest with you. Diego Dalot, do you think he'll be in contention, to play in this game as well? Diego Dalot, because his performances have been very, very good as well. Only 19 years of age. Obviously, we got him from Porto, or is he 20 years of age? We got him from Porto last summer, and initially, he's actually a fullback, is Diego Dalot. He is a right back, but obviously Ashley Young operates there, and I do think he looks more effective. Diego Dalot, quite honestly, in more of an attacking position. Diego Dalot. So I think he actually does look better on the right wing. To be quite honest with you, does Diego Dalot as well. But we'll see what lineup he goes with and all that. We still know that we've got a string of injuries, but Solskjaer's done a really, really good job. As he did say, he's got the players to express themselves, get them enjoying playing football, give everybody the chance, including the young players, the fringe players, and all this. And this is what exactly what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done. He's got belief now in the young players. I do believe Solskjaer can take us he can elevate us to that higher level. He can get us in that commanding position. That we do currently want to be in. And I think definitely we can start winning silverware definitely under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer without a shadow of a doubt. So reports have been coming out as I did currently say in relation to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying that He's set to be named Manchester United manager on a full-time basis because I think he's done far more than enough now, to earn the job on a full-time basis as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Reports do say that his annual salary, which is obviously it's going to be around 7.5 million. So obviously he's going to be getting a less pay package obviously than Jose Mourinho, because obviously when Jose Mourinho was here, he was on 15 million a year. So obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be receiving half of that. So Solskjaer is going to be receiving around 7 million. I think it's 7 million or 7.5 million or something like that. We don't know the length of his contract term as yet, but reportedly his contract is set to include hefty bonus clauses or something like that. It did mention as well, but it's obviously a huge pay rise, compared to what he was earning at Mould, because he was only on £400,000 a year at Mould as well. So he has got a massive pay rise compared to that as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think we still have to pay an initial £7-8 million to Mould. We'd have to pay a fee of around £7-8 million to Mould, to get Solskjaer on a full-time basis as well. But it is essential that we do win this game at the weekend against Arsenal. I think we are definitely capable of beating them. We have got injury problems, as I said. Arsenal have got injuries of their own as well. But overall, we've got a really, really good record at the Emirates, because we've won our last 2 visits there, of course. This was a great fixture back in the day, when they had Arsene Wenger for 22 years, when we had Ferguson for 27 years. This was a good fixture, back in the day as well. I remember, Arsenal had really, really good players back in the day. We had really, really good players under Fergie, back in the day. It was like, Vieira, it was like Patrick Vieira versus Roy Keane, the Van Nistelrooys, they had Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Robert Pires, and all that. That's when Arsenal and Manchester United was the fixture, and it's not quite the fixture as it used to be, as I currently said, because it always used to be a title deciding, did Arsenal and Manchester United, of course. But it's, as I said, it's only Umrah's first season, of course. Arsenal, did go on a good run of form early on this season. They went 22 games unbeaten earlier on in the season as well. But the Emirates this season, they have played really, really well at the Emirates this season of Arsenal. I think they've only lost 1 game at the Emirates this season in the league. They have obviously they got knocked out of the cup by Tottenham at the Emirates. Obviously, we knocked them out of the FA Cup as well at the Emirates. So I think Manchester United, are definitely capable of beating them. We've got a lot of quality in our team, of course. So I think we are definitely, capable of beating them as well. So Paul Pogba will be in contention to playing this. Lukaku probably definitely will be, considering his recent run of form as well. Romelu Lukaku's, and Solskjaer himself has praised Romelu Lukaku, for his fantastic performances indeed. Fantastic performances, indeed. But yeah, Solskjaer, one of his greatest achievements now as a manager, especially, or the whole entirety of his career, was that game against, Paris Saint-Germain. An absolutely unbelievable comeback. As I said, one of as a player, one of Solskjaer's most ironic moments was obviously in Champions League. Now as a manager, one of his most iconic, moments of the actual club's history as well. So officially, Manchester United made history in the Champions League. The first team, to come back, from a 2-goal deficit. As I said, so we might be a bit tired, but it's still going to give us confidence, going into this Arsenal game as well. And on another video, we'll be discussing some more transfer rumours review on other videos as well. We'll give you an update on that as definite as I said. So anyway, this is my Arsenal Manchester United preview. It's 4:30 kickoff on Sunday, so I am going to go now. If you do consider drop your likes on the video, if you do consider